Hello students, today we discuss odd a poetic form. आज हम odd के बारे में चर्चा करेंगे. Definition: a long lyric poem that is serious in subject and treatment, elevated in style and elaborate in its stanzic structure. If we talk about the strict definition that could be used, let's elaborate this definition. Long lyric poem. The first characteristic of odd that it's a long lyric poem. Lyric poem that is serious in subject and treatment. And this long lyric poem is serious in its subject. It is not written on trivia subject and also on its treatment. That's serious in treatment also. Elevated in style. Elevated means high, that has some high standard of style. And elaborate means complicated, complex, stanzic structure. So if a poem has lyrical quality, serious in subject and treatment, and elevated in style, and in complex and complicated in stanzic structure, it can be described as odd. The most elevated and complicated species of lyric, we can also say that it's a species of lyric. Lyric is a type of also a type of poem that express some single emotion, had some musical quality and some melodious. So ode is also in its characteristic lyrical poem. The ode was often written to celebrate notable public occasion or universal theme. So in this line, celebrate notable public occasions. When we have to celebrate some public figure or public occasion or some universal theme, the poet writes ode. Characteristics: a lyric poem that is melodious, expressing single emotion, and meditative. Meditative, that considers something. Often meditative or serious, that lauds or exalt its subject matter. Another characteristic is that it is poem meditative and serious, and lauds and exalt its subject, and it praises its subject matter. Lauds and exalt means praise, यानी कि सब्जेक्ट मैटर जो इसका है उसकी प्रशंसा में जो लिखा गया एक गीत है वो हम उसे ओड कह सकते हैं. Traditional ode treat a noble or otherwise elevated subject in formal, dignified, lofty way. And how the subject matter is treated? In formal, dignified, lofty way, whether in celebration or reverence. For celebration or reverence, reverence means respect for that subject, it is written. So these are the characteristics of ode. Now we consider the origin and development. It has its origin from Greek. Greek origin means a song. Originally this means a song. The word ode comes from Greek word aitin. It's meant to sing. An ode is a song, a lyric poem, most often one that addresses anything, person, not present. So from its origin, the ode was a song in the form of lyric, and it addresses anything or any person not present. It addresses a person or thing that is not present there to celebrate or for reverence. The classic model are Pindar in Greek and Horace in Latin. We have two classical models, that is of Horace and Pindar. The prototype was established by Greek poet Pindar, whose odes were modeled on the songs by the chorus in Greek drama. The Pindar was the originator of this form, and whose odes were modeled on songs on the chorus in Greek drama. In Greek drama, there were choruses, and on that model he developed his odes. His complex stanzas were patterned in set of three, moving in dance rhythm to left. The chorus chanted the strophe, moving to right, the antistrophe, and then standing still, the apod. In Pindar's ode, their structure of three steps: strophe, antistrophe, and standing still. When chorus was moving in left side, it is strophe, and moving left to right, it is antistrophe, and when chorus stands still, it become epod. So on this model, he developed his complex stanza structure. In English, the ode begins with Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson, we can say, the bringer this model in English, and raises in esteem through the period of neoclassicism, culminating in some of more exalted poem of romantics, and then surviving public Victorian verse. So this is the brief development how Ben Jonson's neoclassicism and in romanticism and Victorian, the form of this form developed. The Horatian model is represented in Horatian Ode upon Cromwell's, written from Ireland by Andrew Marvell in 1656. And this model, that is a Horatian model, first we can say developed by Andrew Marvell. Abram Cowley's collection Miscellanies is set fashion for type of free Pindaric ode, and Abram Cowley developed a new model that was free from Pindaric ode, which was to become popular with the Augustans, and this form became popular with Augustans. William Collins and Thomas Gray continued the Pindaric fashion, followed the Pindaric way of writing odes, and Romantics employed in several notable lyric poems on political, emotional, aesthetic themes. Wordsworth elaborate ode intimations of immortality, and the Ode of Keats published in 1820, Nightingale, Sigh, Grecian Autumn, and Melancholy. So this was the brief introduction or brief development of the ode. Now we consider the type of odes. First is the Pindaric or regular ode. The first type of ode is the Pindaric ode, and it is regular because it is written on the model of strophe, antistrophe, and epod. In English, a close intimation of Pindaric form with all its strophes and antistrophes written in one stanza pattern, and strophe and antistrophe was written in one stanza form, and the epod is in another stanzic form. This form was introduced into English by Ben Jonson's ode to the immortal memory and friendship of the noble pair, Sir Lucius Carey and Sir H. Morrison. So this form was used by Ben Jonson. They were written to praise and glorify someone. In the instance of Pindar, the ode celebrated victorious athlete in Olympic game, and Pindar wrote to praise the victory of athlete in Olympic games. The Pindaric ode. This is a brief picture or sample of Pindaric ode. The Progress of Poesy, a Pindaric ode by Thomas Gray. Horatian. The second type is Horatian ode, that is modeled on Horace, that belong to Latin to Latin tradition. The matter, tone, and form. Matter, tone, and form of the poem. How the matter is, how is tone, how is the form of the poem. The ode of Roman Horace. In contrast to the passion, visionary boldness, and what we find in Pindari ode, passion, vision, and boldness, and formal language of Pindar's ode, many Horatian ode are calm, meditative, and colloquial. So, if we compare Pindaric and Horatian ode, the Pindaric ode is passionate, visionary, and formal language. On the other hand, the Horatian ode is calm, meditative, and colloquial. They are also usually homostrophic, that is written in single repeated stanza form, that in all the stanzas are written in the same way. They are not written in the way as Pindar wrote at the strophe, antistrophe, and epode. They are written in the same stanzic form that is followed in a whole through the poem. Horatian ode by John Keats to a nightingale. This is example of a Horatian ode. Next, or the last one, is the irregular ode. In this ode, neither the Pindaric or nor the Horatian. It is the modification of both of them. It's called the Cowleyan ode. Was introduced in 1656 by Abraham Cowley, who intimated the Pindaric style and matter. Pindaric style and matter, but disregarded the recurrent stanzic pattern in each strophic triad, in the three portion. Instead, he followed each stanza to establish its own pattern and he developed each stanza in its own form, own pattern, varying in line lengths, number of lines, and rhyme scheme. And in irregular ode, Cowleyan or Abraham Cowley followed for each stanza the different form, different rhythm, and different number of lines for each stanza. He disregarded the fixed structure, fixed rhyme scheme, or number of lines in his stanzas. So, example is Wordsworth Ode, Intimation of Immortality. Irregular